I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No, not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you are listening to Girls Gone WoW, show 688, recorded on Sunday the 31st of May 2026. I am your host, Raven. Oh dear, I've forgotten how it goes. I am your host, Raven, and with me I have my lovely co-host, EJ. How are you doing this week? We've had a week off, so I've forgotten everything.
Well, since we've been gone, I've been very melty, and now I'm less melty. So
okay, well that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Temperatures in the UK this week hit 35 degrees, which isn't something that the UK is built for. On Monday, I've also forgotten how to speak English. That's helpful, isn't it?
Oh.
On Monday, when I was still in Canada, I checked in on my Hive thermostat to see how hot it was in my flat, to see whether my cat was about to die. And it was 39.5 degrees in here. On Tuesday, when I got home and I put the portable aircon in, I managed to only let it get to 36, I think. But yeah, unless you were sitting right in front of the air conditioning, and I've only got a little portable unit, yeah, it was basically 36 degrees in my flat on Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a bit...
yes, well, thankfully it's now going to be sort of very early 20s and we're going to get some rain. So
yes,
back to what we can cope with. Thanks very much.
Well, back to what May is supposed to be about, right? Is this what we, like early 20s?
Yeah.
This is what's supposed to happen in May. Yeah, it's been a thing. I hope the rest of you have been staying cool during our week off. We've got a couple of interesting news of the week items. It's nearly June. It'll be June tomorrow, everyone. That's like a terrifying thought, isn't it? The June trading post is all Tauren themed. Is the Taurens like June? Is that a...
Yes, they're big into June. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're having Tauren things. Is this do we think we'll get different races each month for a bit? I guess we did some...
Ooh,
I guess we did some...
maybe. I mean...
I feel like we did some undead stuff. I don't know. No, I feel like we did some sort of... Oh, I don't know that we've had any specific racial stuff.
Well, obviously, a couple of months ago, it was really strongly like Blood Elf themed. But obviously, we'd also started the expansion. But yeah, I mean, I certainly would not object if like they sprinkled in, very race themed collections over the next year or so. This stuff is lovely. You got 3 pictures because I was so excited.
Yes, I can see three pictures. So it's a variety of Anshi inspired mounts, transmogged and weapons. If you fill the bar, you get the flame painted Sun Rock mount, which is a big bird that's got loads of like headdresses and armor and stuff on. And there's some totemy stuff and some... It's just all very Tauren. It's extremely exciting. Yeah, there you go. Tauren stuff.
Really like the daisy flower crown, which
is that
I included in the photos.
I'm sure my Taurens already got flowers.
So
is this a different arrangement of flowers?
Yeah. High Mountain Tauren have an option to have flowers through their mane.
Okay.
But this is a separate flower crown so that everybody can have a flower crown.
Okay. All right. Because my Tauren's already got flowers in her main, so I was a bit confused. But I'd forgotten why that was.
Yeah, that's because she's high mountain.
Oh. Seems weird.
So there's been some sad news this week. So the latest round of layoffs by Zam Network, who are the people who own Wowhead, saw Peculiar, who was the director of content for about 15 years. Peculiar was there. She was let go along with several other colleagues. There has been a lot of discussion about this online, including this Reddit comment by commenter called Anshulan. Wowhead has been having layoffs since December last year, starting about a week or so before Christmas without any prior warning. While not official, the understood reasoning was cuts due to poor performance site in 2025. A few weeks later, Peculiar was moved away from running Wowhead by Zam and moved into a separate corporate role. So for those wondering, what is Wowhead without Peculiar? Just look at the last 4 or 5 months. For those who don't know me and are looking for credentials, I worked at Wowhead from 2017 until I was laid off earlier this year when pre-patch launched. The full story of what's happening behind the curtains of Wowhead is a very sad one, but too long for a single Reddit post. Post Wowhead, a lot of us affected have found a new home in Icy Veins, as many of you have noticed. Personally, I have started todayinwow.com to help my fellow collectors and exercise my passion for data. It's great. Basically, it's a great website where you can say what server you're on, and it'll be like, these are all the things that are happening today that you might want to do because you collect stuff or you're trying to sort of achievements and things like that. And I thought the reason I included that Reddit post was literally I'd been having a conversation with several people in the last few weeks going like, had been a bit weird recently.
Yeah, it's not been great recently, for sure.
So yeah, if you wondered what's been going on, that's what's been going on. Hopefully, well, I'm sure Peculiar is going to be snapped up by somebody because she was Wowhead for such a long time. And made it what it is, and it's incredibly sad. It's such an important fan resource, and has been such an important place for so many people for so long, and it's such a shame to see what's going on at the moment. Obviously, we don't mean ignore Wowhead now. There are still like very, very amazing people that work there, and there's still content there and so on and so forth. But if you were just like, it feels like there's something a bit weird right now, that's probably what it is.
Yeah, but go and check out Icy Veins if you're looking for more of some of what Wowhead was doing. I think if if you're looking for the what is the right answer to this peculiar quest type question, that's probably Wowhead is still the place that you need to go for that. But of course there are other databases. So if you're into housing items or stuff like that, there's different places to go for some of that stuff now. But it's like extremely sad that this is what has happened now. On a slightly different note, there is speculation about when 12.0.7 might drop, as the PTR is showing the start date of the turbulent timeways being moved from the 16th of June to the 30th of June. So people are hoping that Blizzard have taken on board some of the feedback, both about the cadence of patches and about the fucking state of the patches when they've been landing. And maybe they're moving it back a little bit to maybe do some quality assurance. That would be like super good. Obviously I've just been out of the loop for a couple of weeks, so I would super appreciate it, Blizzard, if you just like push that back for a couple of weeks. That would suit me really well. And it would suit lots of other people too. So we shall see. As soon as we get an official date, obviously we will let you know.
Finally, do you like alpacas? The answer is yes. Yes, you do. Well, now could be your chance to get yourself an alpaca if you haven't already got one, because Dune Gorger Crowlock World Quest is currently up in Voldoon, both NA and EU. I've checked. So head over there before maintenance this week to murder him and see whether or not hidden in his bones you can find the Molly alpaca. Which is a weird thought, but that's where he's storing it. Okay, if you're a Horde player, just use the Zuldazar portal in Orgrimmar and fly. If you're an Alliance player, go and use the boat transfer in Borealis. Or, if you haven't unlocked that, if you fly to the Echo Isles, you can take a boat from there to Zuldazar and then fly over.
So this was a world quest that was like not spawning. This quest has been super rare.
Yeah, this ever since BFA, this is like even during BFA, this world quest hardly ever spawned. So I happened to notice that it was up, and then went and checked on the other account, and I'm like, okay, it's up everywhere.
Okay.
So go and see. It's not a guaranteed drop because
No.
obviously he is a bony dinosaur, so he hasn't got the best pockets. So sometimes
his
Molly's
pockets,
already fallen
his
out.
pockets
somewhere.
are a bit holy. Yeah.
But yes,
Poor
you've got to be in it to win it. So yeah, and Molly is a beautiful sort of tan-coloured alpaca. Adorable. I mean, the alpacas are great. Also, the alpaca mount special. Chef's kiss.
Does it do a little sort of spin? Does a little sort of...
They jump up and down and then they jump round in a circle.
Yeah, and they jump round in a little circle. Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, there you go. Head over to Voldoon for your chance to pick up Molly. Right, this week we are talking about Void Incursions and Ritual Sites and the other new content that arrived in 2.0.5 that we did not talk about yet. So... what the fuck are Void Incursions and Ritual Sites, I hear you ask? Good question. They rotate weekly between Zul'Aman and Eversong Woods. There's one event in each zone. The Void Incursions are extremely boring. We'll get onto that. The Void Strikes appear on the map. They're small, like, localized events. You kill some things. Sometimes a bigger thing appears. Sometimes you just kill some things and then it sort of... stops.
Sometimes you have to touch some things.
Sometimes you touch some things. Sometimes you pick some things up. Some of them are like, I mean, we'll talk about this in a minute, but some of them are like reasonably sized kind of events. And some of them are like, just like, oh, I've touched 5 things. Oh, it's gone away. And then once you've finished it, a new one begins somewhere else in the zone. Hooray! There's a weekly quest for completing 5 of them that rewards a cache containing 75 field accolades. And if you haven't opened 2 pinnacle caches, it will also give you a pinnacle cache, rewarding coffer, key shards, and pieces of veteran gear. Once enough strikes are defeated, and this is sort of quite a big caveat because enough strikes are completed is like quite a lot of strikes as it happens. You can see there's a big progress bar at the sort of one point at the top of, it's at the top of Eversong where I usually see it. Similarly in Zul'Aman, there's a sort of progress bar. And once the progress bar fills up, which takes fucking forever, a Void Incursion begins. Hooray!
Woo!
Which is a much larger invasion event and is extremely irritating. Sorry, we'll get onto this in a minute. You kill some waves and then...
Raven's got feelings about this.
Raven does have feelings about this. Raven has feelings about busy work. You kill, like, there's waves of things and then you have to go and do, like, an unrelated thing, which is, like, to the left somewhere.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I'll just come to this pond and kill some more things, and then you have to come back and kill some other things, and then eventually there's like a wooga. Here is a big thing. You now need to kill the big thing, and killing the big thing takes about fucking 45% too long.
Yeah.
And then you get another little field pouch, and it has some gold in it, and some Void Light Marl, and some more field accolades. Awesome. So those are Void Incursions.
Hooray. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're all dying to know Raven's feelings about that, but hold on. Let's talk about the ritual sites first. So, ritual sites are instance content for 1 to 5 people, where we deal with invaders who are trying to strike at Keldanas from Dagger Point in Eversong Woods and the Broken Throne in Zul'Aman. They're similar to delves, but you don't have Valera with you. And you're able to customize the difficulty of the scenario by selecting up to 8 challenges, which are affixes, which increase mob numbers, abilities, damage, or they can add sort of hazards that you have to not stand in. There are 5 tiers of difficulty to pick from, and as those increase in numbers, you are forced to pick an increasing number of challenges. Completion rewards, field accolades, crests, marl, dark particles, which can be turned into more field accolades. Just give me more stuff.
That's so pointless. It so annoys me. Like, you're giving me a currency disguised as another currency. Like, what the fuck, Blizzard? Like, Jesus Christ. Is this an Inception? Okay, fine, carry on.
And progress on the ritual site's renown track, because everything has a renown track these days.
It does.
The renown track rewards cosmetic events and improvements to the scenarios, such as health, regen orbs, and treasure chests. There you go. Great. There's your 2 new bits of exciting content that arrived. Raven, how do you feel about these bits of content? Really? Should we start with why don't we do one at a time? Let's start with the Void Incursions, because I feel like they're different beasts.
Yeah, they are different beasts. And of the 2 of them, I hate the Void Incursions more, although I don't like either of them.
Okay.
The Void Incursions are like super annoying. They're just really annoying. I think it would be better if it didn't take about 498 Void Incursions to make a big Void Incursion happen. But it's like literally you okay, I'm going to go and do my 5 Void Incursions for my 5 Void Incursions quest. Here I am. And some of them are a little bit confusing. And some of them you can solo. And some of them you can absolutely not solo under any circumstances. So they have a very sort of variable level of difficulty, which can be a problem depending on when you're playing. Like, I play in the early evening, so often there are people around who are doing things. So it's usually fine. There's usually 2 or 3 other people around, but some of them do take quite a long time if there's only 2 or 3 of you around. So sometimes it's better to do it on a Saturday afternoon when people are doing circuits. But they're super variable, which I guess should be a strength, but also just means you never quite know how long it's going to take you to do it. But it's really disheartening when you do your 5. And the big bar at the top has gone from 80% to 82%. And you're like, okay, all right. So then you go and do something if it's in Eversong, you're like, okay, I'll go do a party. So you go do a party. And then it's at 84%. And then sometimes they get a bit oh, well, maybe I should stay around. And then when I actually do stay around and I do the thing, I remembered how fucking shit it is. It's really bad. And I don't understand. It's got this pre-timer on it. It's so stupid. So you zone in and it's there are monsters, there are mobs coming across the bridge. And it's you are in the pre-phase. We are preparing, but the mobs are already coming across the bridge. So you spend an hour and a half, sorry, not an hour and a half. It feels like an hour and a half. You spend a minute and a half killing all the mobs as they're coming across the bridge because they're just coming across the bridge. And then it's oh, but now it starts now, actually. And you're okay, fine. So what was...
That was my boosh of a fight, was it?
That was just preparing time. But, I mean, am I supposed to stand here? I'm a World of Warcraft character. I'm always fucking prepared to fight things. Okay, fine. So then you do the, first phase of, shit's coming across the bridge. And you're cool. And I always forget that there's this, middle section where you have to go somewhere else. So you're okay, I killed the stuff that's coming across the bridge. Now the main mob's gonna... Oh, no. Okay. So you then have to, go and, in an Eversong, you have to go to the pond. And there's never enough fucking mobs in the pond. So you spend fucking 8 minutes, 10 minutes, everybody in a group, circling the fucking pond and like blessing frogs and like killing things. And then there's another thing where you have to close some portals, but there's never enough of those either. So you're like constantly, I don't know, it's just real. It's like the worst kind of World of Warcraft busy work. And then a big mob pops up, but it's not the real big mob. No. There's a mob pops up, and he's going to spawn the real big mob, maybe in a minute if he gets round to it. And it's just, the whole thing is exceptionally fucking irritating. And then you're like, you got a little envelope at the end with some fucking Voidlight Marl in it and some of these field accolades. I don't even know what field accolades fucking are. It pisses me off. The whole fucking thing pisses me off. So there you go.
He's very much a like twirly moustache boss, because he has to have his little speech. He's like, aha, you thought you could defeat me, but guess what? Here comes something else. And you're like,
Jesus Christ.
Do it, dude.
Like, nobody fucking gives a shit. What I like about world bosses, right? What I like about world bosses is you go to where the world boss is, and if somebody's already killing the world boss, you join in and kill the world boss. And if nobody's already killing the world boss, you open up your group finder, and you're like, is there a group for the world boss? Yes, I'll join the group for the world boss. No, I'll start a group for the world boss. And then somebody hits the world boss, and you all murder the world boss, and then the world boss is dead. At no point do you have to listen to the world boss give a fucking speech. Like, it doesn't give any awards, it doesn't give a speech, it doesn't do anything. You just, like, you hit it, and then it's dead. And then you get a prize. And that's nice. This, like, what is, like, I just don't understand why I have to listen to this person telling me all this stuff. And then there's this weird bit at the end. There's this weird bit at the end where it's like you have a minute and a half of we have to stand around and wait for somebody to give out the prizes.
Well, Haldron is Ranger General, and he's very proud that we've all worked so hard. Bless him.
Well, can he fucking hurry up and give his speech? There's like a fucking pause at the end whilst Haldron's like writing his speech or something. I don't know. The whole thing fucking...
He's just finishing it. Oh, hold on.
Like, okay, I'm not listening to your fucking speech. I just like my pouch of things that I don't even fucking want. So no, I don't like Void Incursions. Do you like Void Incursions? How do you feel about Void Incursions, EJ?
I mean, no, I don't like Void Incursions. I think it's a... So I understand the idea. The idea is very on theme, and I think that's great. My problems with Void Incursions are the difference in variety between the different strikes. Some of them you finish them in like 3 minutes. They're super easy. Others you're there for almost 10 minutes trying to like get the whatever sort of counter it is that has to tick up to get the counter to tick up. And some of them are...
The one with the animals in Eversong seems particularly bad. There's one where you have to like kill cursed animals that's like in the middle of Eversong somewhere.
I don't mind that one. That one I find works okay, especially if you hit the big elite animals. I don't mind that one so much. There's a couple, there's more in, there's some over in Zulaman that just seem to take forever. And there's one right in the middle of Eversong where there's just Twilight mobs.
Oh,
and they're all there's some weird battlements that have been put up in the middle of a field, which is odd.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Those groups, there's never enough of them. That one seems to take like twice as long as any of the rest of them, which is
and half the time you're just literally like you're all just standing there.
Everyone's standing there going, "So, a cup of tea, anybody?
Yeah.
How's the wife? What's going on?"
Yeah.
If you are in one of those periods where it's very, very quiet and it's literally just you or maybe you and one other person trying to complete them, there are some that are actually quite tricky if you're not on a well-geared character. Looking at the one in Eversong that's got the links at the end of it, and it's got all these like mini dominars, like that one, if you're not well geared, that can be a bit difficult. And also the achievements that they've linked, I'm not going to go into them, but the achievements are terrible because there's lots of the achievements are like kill X number of these things, but actually these things only turn up occasionally. So there's an achievement where you have to kill 15 of these specially void touched animals. Well, that only applies to 2 possible strikes that might come up in Eversong, and only 1 that might come up in Zulaman. So you're like flying around hoping that that particular type of strike comes up. I think the void incursions are perfect example of the worst type of busy work that Blizzard does. It's
Yes.
busy work. The events themselves are tedious.
Yeah.
The currency within a currency within a currency. Like,
Yeah.
stop doing that.
What? Yeah.
Like, no. Very, very annoying. I mean, I've ticked everything off because I sort of hate ticked everything off. Basically, the only reason I've done everything is because in the end, I used them to finish leveling 2 of my alts.
Right, okay.
Because it was just constant content that was churning, so I didn't have to think about it. I just moved to the next thing, and that is probably the only reason I've got everything ticked off on it.
Yeah.
Was because I was actually using them for a different goal. I wasn't using them for the purpose they're there for. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to say, I've got a few feedback things brewing, and this is absolutely the worst. It's the best example of the worst type of content that they put out, in my opinion.
And it's also frustrating to me. I know we've been talking a lot recently about the kind of the state of the map and kind of how many things are going on in the map.
Yep.
It's really distracting. Like, it's difficult to not do them in a sense. I mean, you can, like, obviously, I'm making myself sound like an idiot now, but like, they take up a lot of space on the world map. So if you like press your M button, like, quite a lot of your map is occupied by these things, and then there's the big bar across the top in either zone that you're in. So they're just sort of really distracting. Like, I sometimes find myself doing them slightly accidentally, because it's like, what do I want to do in this zone? Oh, well, here's a thing to do. Oh no, it's just a void incursion, right? This comes back to that point I've been trying to make about, like, I just want to turn everything off. Like, I don't want to see it, because it's just quite distracting in the world map picture to me.
The one positive thing thinking about this is when you fly into a zone and it pings up here's the quest to do 5 incursions quest. You can just decline it, and it just goes away, and it doesn't keep popping up. Unlike like the BFA zones, every time you flew in, there was an invasion. They were like, "Do you want to do the invasion?" And you just had to like accept it. There was no way out. Actually, this one you can say, "No, thank you, not today." And then if later on you decide to start them, as soon as you start doing it, it'll ping it up for you. So that's great. Love that. Thank you very much. Good design. Yes, please.
So ritual sites then. I don't like them, but I sort of see the point, unlike void incursions, which I don't see the point. So how do you feel about ritual sites?
Well, okay. No, I'm going to caveat that. Sorry, I'm just putting my earbud back in. So I really like ritual sites. I like the Eversong one a hell of a lot more than the Zulaman one, because the end boss on the Zulaman one can go die in a fire, although he's trying to get me to die in a fire.
Yeah.
Principally because he's in this little tiny room, and it's actually it's very easy to like get stuck in a corner or something. So I find him quite, and he's got something that needs interrupting, and I mostly am playing on a warlock these days. So that's and I found when I was first trying him, and when I was trying him with all the challenges up, obviously I got my dog out for my one interrupt. And actually it was going really badly. I ended up actually managing to complete it with my voidy up and just letting my voidy tank and healing my voidy. So I like them. I like the fact that they scale, so you can make them as difficult as hard as you want to. I like the fact that you've almost got a double scaling because it's got a 1 to 5 on like what the levels are, like you're doing a delve almost, but then you can add in as many challenges as you want. So I like the fact that you can be like, yeah, okay, let's try this, and also it's very clear about what each challenge does. You know, sometimes there's like bonus
Yeah.
things, and you're like, I don't really know what this is doing. It's really fucking obvious what these ones do. So
Yes.
there's definitely an optimum collection. So if you're doing a tier 5 ritual site, you have to have 4 challenges up, and there are 8 available. So you can cherry pick and pick the ones that are going to irritate you the least amount. And no, I really like them. I think they're great. They're giving out some nice loot. There's some nice collectibles from them. There's void touched, like all sorts of void touch pets and mounts that you can get. And you can, and I like the fact that you can like do it on your own, or you can find some friends to do it. So yeah, it's like initially I was like, oh, it's like Outside Delves. It's sort of like Outside Delves, but it's got some more nuance to it than that.
Yeah, I mean,
How
I
about yourself?
certainly see where ritual sites fit in. Now, I haven't finished my Delver's Journey. Now, maybe if I'd finished my Delver's Journey, I'd feel a bit different about it. I don't feel like, I mean, I just don't feel like I need this content at the moment. And I think that's fine. Like, I'm just not playing the game as much as the rest of you are. That's fine. We just have to own that. And so I'm quite happy, like I'm still happy doing delves. But if you'd finished your Delver's Journey and you wanted something else to do, I can see where this content fits in. I think the Zulaman one is terrible. I just think
So
it's
big, it's
terrible.
about twice the size.
Yeah, it's really confusing, and I just I've done it a couple of times, and I just like that. I even on the lowest level, I just really struggle with the last boss. I just can't. I don't have that many interrupts. He's really frequently casting things that need interrupting. I got very frustrated with it the last time I tried it, and I just, I've still got delves to do, so I can do delves which I really enjoy. I don't need to do this, but unlike the Void Incursions, I can see the purpose of this, and it's a much better piece of content. Like, it's taking a thing that exists and giving some new kind of options on it. So if you finish the existing piece of content, great, here's an expansion thing for you to go and do, that is more of a thing that you enjoyed in a slightly different way. That seems like good 0.5 patch content, and I can ignore it if I want to, and that's fine. And you can do as much of it as you want. And it also, like, it doesn't take up huge quantities of my world map. Like it's a one thing, and I go there and I can do it or not do it. And it feels like it just generally feels like better content than Void Incursions. So I think thumbs up for ritual sites. Not for me, maybe at the moment. And I think 12.0.7 is going to come too quickly for it to be me, for me in general. But I can at least see the point in a way that I like. Nobody asked for Void Incursions. Nobody needs Void Incursions. Who's this content for? It's just busy work. It's not for anyone.
Also, the other thing about it as well, just thinking about it from a story point of view, like everybody's gone down the dark well now.
Yeah.
So why are they still bothering with us until, like, why are they still bothering with us? Didn't they all go, are they just a bit, are these the ones that were left behind and they're just feeling like they've got a FOMO because they didn't get to the dark well in time with Zali? So they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to this rocks around here.
This really feels like it should have been a, like, early expansion piece of content. Like, it would have thematically fitted much earlier in the expansion. Even, like, this almost feels like a pre-expansion piece of content.
Oh my God, if this had been the pre-patch, that would have made, like, so much sense if this had been the... Oh, okay. Sama says some of them say, has she left us when I kill them?
Oh, wow, okay. Like,
so maybe they are just like, maybe they don't realise that Xalatas's gone through the dark well.
Oh, God.
No, I feel
Oh, no,
only
I feel-
slightly sorry
I feel
for.
sad
Like,
for
dude, I'm
them.
afraid you got your P45. I'm afraid you're
Yeah,
out of a
like,
job.
yeah,
She's
sorry,
gone, mate.
she's gone. Yeah.
Let me show you this cinematic. Hold on, here you go.
Yeah.
Look. She's gone, mate.
Yeah. Oh dear. Wow, that's quite
I think
sad.
like I definitely think that the incursions would have been better as the pre-patch content.
Yeah, like those kind of incursions as the pre-patch content instead of whatever the fuck we were doing in the Twilight Highlands that I still don't. I played
Flying around
tic-tac-toe.
killing rares.
Yeah. Like I think that might have been more engaging, and actually lots of people are playing it in the pre-patch, so you could have built up to a big, like done lots of little ones and then built up to a big one. And I mean, maybe we don't need to let Haldron write a fucking speech every time because it seems to take him too long, but like, you know.
No, bless him. He's a fighter, not a writer.
Just like his speechwriter had ages whilst we were all fighting things, like sitting under, like could have been. What I think was really funny the other day, I was doing the party quests where you have to go to the characters that are underneath that bridge and like give them the invites from the Murder Row people. And so on top of the bridge, there's this almighty fight going on with this like big void incursion. There's like a giant demon and everything. And I'm just like hovering around at the bottom and being like, hi, so the person from Murder Row really wants you to come to a party. I just thought I'd come and tell you about it. And they're all just like sitting under the bridge, like, oh, don't know what's going on up there. Seems
don't worry
fun.
about what's going on up there. It's all fine.
It was very odd. Very, very, very odd. But yeah, weird. So yeah, I do think, but I see the point of ritual sites. I understand them. I don't like them, but I mean, there's lots of content in the game that's not for me. Cool, that's fine. That's a kind of like, it's a good piece of content. I think it's a good piece of content. I understand why it exists. It's okay for there to be content in the game that is not for me. I genuinely don't understand why void incursions exist at this stage of the expansion. I don't think they are good content in that way. Let's find out what other people think. EJ, are you rearranging your desk? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just looking for something. I've just got a bit of discomfort going on, so sorry.
Oh, okay, that's all right. I was just like, what's going on down there? Let us listen to what Salmis has to say.
This is Salmis reporting in for this week's topic: ritual sightseeing prohibited where void. The void assaults are a bit of dip in, dip out group fun. There are usually at least 2 to 3 other people engaged in one if I decide to take a few of them on. The variety is not extremely varied, but enough to keep it minimally engaging. The more people involved, the quicker they go. I started on a few while I was still leveling my Mistweaver Monk, and I was disappointed to find that while the field pouches did drop occasional bits of leveling quality upgrade gear, they would not also drop the field accolades currency until I had reached level 90.
What?
I think that's a missed opportunity. It would have been so much nicer to reach 90 with enough field accolades to purchase a couple of random champion pieces of gear. I still think that the culminating void incursions build up way too slowly. So far I think I've only been able to take part in 3 of them, and one of them I simply stumbled on while it was happening. I didn't actually take part in helping make it happen. When I finally got around to looking at ritual sites, I ran into a strange interaction. Many of the early quests from the sites are meant to unlock affixes that can be chosen to increase the difficulty and the end rewards for the whole warband. One quest I got from Lady Darkglen tasked me to use a device to examine a few spots in the site. The character that first picked up the quest got the quest item, and it unlocked the quest for the rest of my warband, but my other characters didn't get the quest item. So when I went on a different character, I saw the quest and the places I was meant to use the item, but I didn't have it, and could not complete the quest. This was strange, and it felt sloppy. These days I'm inclined to think that some tester saw it and reported it, but the time was never taken to deal with it before it went live. I don't want to think that, but under the circumstances, I am forced to. After having initial fun trying the sites out with friends, I'm not that interested in trying them further, but maybe I'll find a reason to. In the meantime, I look forward to hearing more perspectives. Salmus out.
Oh, that is annoying about the field accolades, that you don't get them whilst you're leveling. That's really bizarre. That's really bizarre. Oh, EJ, I think you might be muted.
They keep making some really odd sorts of choices with this sort of stuff.
Yeah. That's
especially
really odd.
because actually it is the incursions are very good content if you're trying to grind your ult up, if you want to do something a little bit different. It was quite a nice way of doing it. So yeah, that's I hadn't noticed that, to be honest, because that wasn't the thing I was focusing on, but that sounds annoying.
Super irritating. And so is the thing about the quest item.
Yeah.
That's, lazy. Lazy. Okay. Marie said, I did one of each to make the quest marker go away and was pleased to never do them again. It's nice when content isn't for me because then I can focus on other stuff I do enjoy. Yeah, I hear you.
Fair enough. Rack says, get ready, everyone, because I'm about to type the meanest thing I've ever said on the internet in my entire life. Right, everyone hold on. Here we go. I think void incursions and ritual sites are dumb as a butt. Oh, rack! Language! They do not spark joy for me.
I hear you, friend.
My biggest issue with the incursions and the ritual sites isn't so much the events themselves, but the reward system behind them. I guess it's a good thing I didn't really want yet another recolour of the Tier 2 armour set anyway, because putting it all behind RNG pieces for each armour slot that I have to buy multiple times until I get the few pieces for classes I actually play just felt bad and turns me off the whole system. It feels like that kind of system might cater to the player who plays all the classes, but everyone else likely looked at that and said, well, this sucks. The incursions themselves are no different than any of the other events, it seems. Show up, join the mob mashing buttons and melting faces and collect the things. The ritual sites are a little bit more interesting, I suppose. They feel like an attempt to marry delves and horrific visions. Oh, yes. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're okay, but ultimately just feel like delves with a slightly different flavour. It's like Diet Coke versus Coke Zero. Now, Rack, I'm going to stop you there. Because that's a completely different kettle of fish. Because Coke Zero, lovely. Diet Coke tastes terrible.
Okay.
They're still both Coke, says Rack, but one tastes a little different. Very different. But to be fair, that's how I feel. That's the difference I feel. Give me a Coke, very happy. Give me a ritual site, very happy. Give me a void incursion. I mean, I'll do it, but I'm not enjoying it.
You don't like Diet Coke? Okay.
It's just got that
It's
aftertaste.
very aspartame. It's very aspartame. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. Whereas Coke Zero.
Magic Kieran in the chat room says, my husband swears he can't tell a difference between Coke Zero and Diet Coke.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I don't ever drink Coke or Pepsi or any of these things. I don't ever drink them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know what Diet Coke tastes like, and I do know what Coke Zero tastes like, and I do think they taste different.
Rack, you've started like 2 different conversations.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is incredible. Yeah.
Rack continues, I guess I just prefer Diet Coke.
Oh no, Magic Kira says he also drinks warm soda. Oh
gosh.
Oh dear. Kira, I hate to tell you this, but you might have to get divorced. My goodness. Warm soda. Oh.
So Rex says they're still both Coke, but one tastes a little different. I guess I just prefer Diet Coke and didn't need them to invent Coke Zero, but I'm glad they're trying, I suppose. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think Rack's a fan.
No, fair enough. Pralaya says, I think I've done one of each, and in the time it takes versus the reward you get, especially for an ult, made it not really worth doing for me, despite having ults for every class and wanting the armor for all. I have been skipping them in favour of much more enjoyable content that I've yet to get bored of. Yeah, they are both, if you want to get the big level bags, they are quite time consuming. Like a ritual site, I do think the Eversong one is quicker, but certainly the Zulaman ritual site is a it's like a serious time investment.
Yeah. You've got to like make sure you've had a proper meal and hydrated well before you start the one in Zulaman.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to skip some of the mob packs in the Eversong one as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Queen Smedry says, don't sully the name of delves by calling them outside delves.
Oh, strong feelings.
Outside mythic dungeons.
Okay.
You have to go and kill some bosses, and there are some special issues that arise the higher you take the challenge rating. See? I mean, not going to argue. Of the two, I like the Twilight one way more. The trash is packed too tightly in the Eversong one, and I cannot walk 5 feet without my tank pulling all of it. To make matters worse, if you pop those obelisks, there's a chance they'll be up on that rock that's basically inaccessible until after you beat mini-boss number 7. So if they empower the mini-boss number 7, which they did for me as well as his little helpers, you just get curb stomped over and over again and forced to leave and reload. So you've wasted all that time.
Oh dear.
Okay, Queen Smedra, I'm going to let you into a little secret about those obelisks up on the like end island. If you go round the right-hand side of the island, there's a way you can get up on the rocks, so you can get up and kill either of the obelisks that can spawn on that final rock without having to go near that big fuck off like mini boss with the 2 that absolutely annihilates anybody. So go around the right hand side, and then after you've got, there's 2 mobs. There tends to be there's often like a naga and a little dog naga friend on the right hand side of that island. Kill them, and sort of on the rocks behind them there is a way you can get up onto the island and kill the obelisks, and you won't trigger the end boss because she's held in like a stasis seal until you've killed everything beforehand. So you can literally walk past her and she doesn't say anything. She's just like, la la la, can't see you.
Okay.
So you can kill the obelisks if they're causing you a problem.
Okay, well, top tip there.
And we found the one person who prefers the Zulaman to Eversong. So
yeah, there you go. There had to be somebody. I'm glad that we found them. Ams says, I'm really bored of invasions of all kinds. This isn't something I've actively engaged with. It feels like busy work rather than engaging or interesting gameplay. We've seen it too many times now. For me, the Void Incursions are straight out of one of the least interesting and dull things in the game now. I don't really understand the point. The whole approach to them and the stupid way of buying the associated transmog is outright awful, even with the nerf to cost. I do see people interacting with it, so it's clearly providing engagement for some. The outdoor delves are equally uninteresting, and for the past 2 weeks I've had zero desire to progress the renown track. I've done at least one of each on T5 with 8 challenges up, and I don't find them appealing or a good use of my time. They just feel irritating more than anything. The sheer volume of achievements for both are silly and reek of desperation to force interaction with the system. Yeah, I have to say, I did look at the achievements and I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's optimistic. We're not going to do any of those. Neither system needed the volume of achievements they have. Yawn. Ams continues, this is just the kind of stuff that genuinely makes me think it's fine for me to partly retire from WoW, and the whole keep them locked in doing busy work model is no longer fun, nor do I have time for it. I'm increasingly like unsub for everything but a new expansion or interesting story beats because the game design has started to feel like grind, and forcing engagement is the core design principle rather than fun being the core design principle. That said, I do appreciate it's very, very hard balancing your game to ensure your paying players have stuff to do versus pointless grind, but the balance has been and felt very off recently, and it felt grating. Blizzard needs to spend some time understanding better why certain other games have repeatability. Sadly, I think they've lost sight of what good and engaging repeatable stuff looks like. Yeah, I know what you mean. I do think, I at least think it's more obvious if you want to do kind of part-time WoW, which bits you can skip now. But I do wish that everything didn't come with a renown track, and everything didn't come with like a currency, and everything didn't. And these are particularly achievement heavy, and the achievements are a bit strange.
Yeah. So there are some quality of life changes coming to both of these. I think both of these events, or certainly to the field accolades and the gear and stuff like that, in 12.0.7. I didn't include them today because that's what we're going to talk about next week.
Fair enough.
I think I was talking to Symes about this earlier this afternoon. I think one of the big problems is that these things get put on like PTR for testing, but the people who are on the PTR, I don't think gives them a good feel for actually what a good cross section of the player base is like. So I think sometimes they can get one set of feedback from people who've done the PTR, and then it comes live, and actually people are like, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
and
what
then
is this? Yeah,
I do think they're being quite responsive when they're getting feedback once it's gone live, and they're like, "Oh, okay, they really don't like this." And I do think we've seen them being more responsive to feedback and criticism more recently, but also it's a little bit of a shame that perhaps things aren't spending perhaps enough time on the PTR, or people don't feel like they've gone. Like, I really wanted to be able to spend a bit more time in the PTR this expansion, and I just haven't had the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because I've got so many things to do in game.
Oh, it's okay because the police are coming to get you now. I can hear that in the background.
Yeah, sorry about that. Like, sorry, I live very close to, in case anybody,
very close to Arsenal Stadium.
very close to Arsenal Football Stadium, and Arsenal have won some football.
They won a thing.
And they got, after 20 odd years, and they got very excited about it. So they had a big parade today, which meant that basically sort of almost at the end of my road has been cut off for 24 hours. And there was a big parade this afternoon, and I imagine the hundreds of thousands of people that they were expecting didn't just go, "Oh, it's 4 o'clock, the parade's finished, let's go home."
Yeah, let's go home in a quiet and orderly fashion. Yeah, that seems unlikely.
Yeah, so I apologise.
It does sound like the police are coming right down your road, which is amazing because your road is literally like really narrow. Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah. Okay, well,
I apologise. I didn't expect my microphone to pick that up. So
no, that was quite impressive. Anyway.
Yeah, the police are coming. The police have thoughts. We've said too many bad things.
Yeah, we've said too many bad things. They're coming to get us now. Yeah.
Well, quickly, hopefully, before they come and get me, let's see what Stilgar thought. Stilgar said, "As I already feared before the patch, the new event didn't bring anything really worthwhile. The invasions were a copy-paste of other invasion events since Legion. Go places, kill stuff, progress a bar. It's boring, repetitive, and without achievements or rewards. I don't think anybody would... without achievements or rewards, I don't think anybody would go near it, which shows you how fun it is. The only good thing about this incarnation is that it's always up. So if you decide to do it, you can just go and do it."
Yes, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. Then the ritual sites. I like the idea behind it, but again, it feels like a repetitive grind without any real reward. I did like doing the tier 5 with all 8 challenges up, because it was something I couldn't rush through on my warrior. I had to pay attention. But doing it every week, multiple times a week, I don't really care for it enough. Tying yet another renowned track for no apparent reason other than to force people who want everything to come back time and time again feels especially shitty. I'd say the 8 challenges are of varied interest. Some of them are just annoying, the puddle of death. Some are really obnoxious but not hard, the spawning mob that you need to interrupt or run away from. Then there's some that just force you to kill more than you'd otherwise have to kill, which is just wasting time. I do appreciate the variety of it, and I do think there's something that's often lacking from content, making stuff harder because there's more stuff going on instead of just making things hit harder and die slower. But I also noticed that after doing it once or twice, the fun runs out. So I'm not sure I want it to get into delves and such. I understand they want to keep people in the game and all that, but bringing out these patches at this speed with so little actual fun content just feels desperate. What we got in the invasions and the ritual sites is boring busy work with yet another recoloured tier 2 set. Sometimes it's okay to let people take a break.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, out of the two, I like the ritual sites more, but actually the only achievement I've got left to do is I need to do the Eversong one with at least tier 5, 8 challenges with at least 3 people.
Okay.
So I'll see if I can get some people together next week when it's up, or I'll find a group in at LFG.
Well, maybe we can get a little group together to do that at some point. I know there's a few people who probably need that.
Absolutely. But yeah, so it's but yeah, once I've done that, the character that I was trying to get all the gear on, she's almost geared, and there are sort of other ways of getting gear now that I probably want to do a bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly the achievements kept me doing them longer than I probably would have done them anyways, and I really enjoyed the challenge of working my way up through the challenges. So like I say, ritual sites, I really don't have any complaints about them, apart from being involved in the currency within a currency thing, which is just a general Blizzard problem at the moment more than anything. I mean, I didn't even particularly mind the renown track because actually it was very quick to fill that renown track out. You sort of blinked and you'd filled it out, and I was like, they were just like, dun da da, you've completed renown, and I'm like, have I? Like I didn't have to put any effort into it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that I'm less concerned about. I think the whole renown track thing is certainly something we can talk about one day.
Everything needs a renown track. I just don't think everything needs a renown track. That's just how I feel about things. But I'm obviously in a minority, so.
So
yeah. Okay.
Do you have any other?
No, Void Incursions, we're not fans, but we understand why ritual sites exist and some people quite enjoy them. So that's 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, I think. Okay, good job, Blizzard.
Like 6 out of 10 report, maybe.
Yeah. C+, must try harder. Okay, good.
Well, if you're enjoying the show, perhaps you could give us a like or post a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year, and we'd love you to help us reach out to new people. Come and join us on our Discord channel over at bit.ly/ggw-discord. You can also watch our live show on Sundays at 8 p.m. London time or midday Pacific over at twitch.tv/SilkyRaven.
Right, time for us to check in on our Cassunda Chronicles. Previously, Cass was investigating a group of dock workers that were trying to encourage other humans to force out non-human workers. Let's see how he's getting on.
The Cassunda Chronicles, Dock Work, Part 4. Greetings and salutations, my friends. 'Tis I, Cassunda. The investigation hit a slight bump in the road. A natural bump, unfortunately. For some reason, the city is experiencing a rather unusual and unseasonal heat wave. There are doomsayers saying Black Ross is back, but personally, it's probably Uncle Bernie playing with that fire of his again. Either way, it is unbearable. It's like walking barefoot through the deserts of Voldoon. I don't know how those Volparen deal with it. If it gets any hotter, I'll be seeing hordes of rampaging llamas and alpacas. But I digress. It has meant that things have slowed. A lot of people don't like to go out in the middle of the day because it's too hot. And most dock workers, obviously refusing to do that, are then forced with another problem because ship workers then want their ships unloaded in the evening, which is drinking time, thereby causing a conflict of interests with many dockers. One group of dockers, though, decided, heat be damned, we'll empty a ship in the afternoon. Well, these humans learned the hard way, as 5 of them collapsed with heat exhaustion. 4 unconscious. A 5th one, still barely conscious, saw a figure in white coming towards him. I was watching all this, by the way. I couldn't do anything else. It was too hot, and I found the only shady spot going, which happened to be near where this was happening. The figure in white was an elven cleric. Well, this dock worker started spewing insults at him, spitting at him, telling him no pointy-eared, insert your own ring of expletives here, I'm sure you probably know a few, would be touching him. He wanted a human. Well, this elven gentleman told him, if I don't heal you now, you could die. Well, the dock worker collapsed at that point anyway, so it was a moot point. Due to the partial humour in this, and again, it could be a potential lead, I followed. That dock worker woke up in a bed in the healing part of the cathedral to see a young human male leaning over him. Oh, great, thank you for healing me. Better than any of those damn non-humans. At which point the young man looked at him and said, I'm just an acolyte, I didn't heal you. They did. And pointed over to the elven healer, Rosalie and Candae. I may have pulled a couple of strings there just for see the humour side of it. He went ballistic. He started picking things up and throwing it. You know, no pointy-eared humans and humans. It showed you how messed up he was. You half-breeds and all this, you're not going to touch me again. And it was like... And then everything quietened as Endril arrived in all his huge Draenei paladinic glory. I have never seen anyone shut up so fast. He turned into a small child hiding in a corner. Endril looked down at him and said, you'd be dead if it wasn't for them. You should be thanking them. You'd be in the moor, scraping through the dirt if it wasn't for them. Is that what you really want? The docker muttered some semblance of an apology. It wasn't really much of one, but it was accepted by them. Candae, using quite a lot of sarcasm for her. I must be rubbing off on her the wrong way, in a manner of speaking. Told him that it was always a pleasure to heal those in need, and if he needed any more healing, come and ask for them personally. And of course, being an incident such as, there would be no charge for his healing. He scrambled out of the room and is now heading to the docks, avoiding the direct sunlight. I'm doing the same while I follow him. The stuff he was spouting could be a good lead. I'm going to follow him and go and see who he talks to. After all, if he's not a cloak, he could be a perfect target for them. They may try and make use of him. I'll let you know what happens, my friends. I'll be seeing you.
Oh dear. Everywhere's had a heat wave this week.
Hot stuff all round.
Yeah. Right, we are moving into our weeks in gaming. EJ, what have you been up to over the past couple of weeks?
Well, I think everything feels like I'm sort of on top of everything. I think I've filled up most of my renown tracks on things. My housing neighborhoods, they've sort of completed their caches, so that's all up to date. So yeah, I've moved into that phase of like, quite sure what I need to do. Like I've gone from like all these things need to be done to like Okay. So yes, I'm sort of having to sort of reacclimatize my brain to this sort of stage of being. Um, I've the one thing I have noticed now, I want to know, I'd be very interested if people like let us know. This week, I don't know what's going on this week. So, like, obviously, the expansion's been out for a while, and I've seen Nullius turn up occasionally in a delve here and there, but like not a lot, just occasionally. Since maintenance, every single time I've taken a different character out into delves, he's popped up every single time,
Oh
and I'm just like,
dear.
dude, like, what is it? Like, do you think I owe you money? What's
Yeah,
going on? Like, I
he suddenly realised he hasn't been clocking up enough hours. He's going to be behind.
literally, I
He's had his
swear
feet
that in
up.
the since Wednesday, I've seen him more since Wednesday than I have the whole rest of the expansion, and that's not an exaggeration.
Okay, that's quite
Like,
funny. So I haven't been in since Wednesday, but I did go in very briefly on Tuesday in a weird pocket of Tuesday afternoon that I was actually vaguely like awake, which wasn't most of Tuesday. And he did pop in that one. And I hadn't seen him for ages. So maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if that like Blizzard have like poked him and said, "Mate, look, you're supposed to be the special," and he's like, "Oh, was that me? Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
But yeah, literally, I've not seen him so much, and I'm just like, and also like the fact that he turns up and it's not even him that you fight; it's like his
those
dog
two dogs.
friends. You're
Yep.
just like.
And he
Because
stands
he does
around
this, he
being
does the twirly
annoying.
moustache thing. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, ha, ha, you're never going to get out of here alive. I'm terrible. Here are my dogs," and you kill the dogs, and he's like, "You'll never get out of here alive," and poof, and you're like,
Yeah, like,
"What?
I'll be back in a minute.
What
And
are
you're
you
like,
here for,
okay,
mate? What's
all
the
right,
point?"
all right. I mean, he does get in the
Um,
way, depending on which
oh,
which
so in
delve
the
you're
way.
in. Like, so sometimes it's difficult to fight his dogs because he's in the fucking way. And you're like, no, don't hit him. Hitting him won't do anything. Like, you need to hit the
No,
dogs.
hitting him is as pointless as he is, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Um, So hopefully that means actually what I'm going to get a chance to do this week is perhaps go and do some more work on my houses.
Okay.
Because maybe I finally got to that point where I can go and start. I feel my houses have been like very very ignored for the last few weeks or few
Okay.
months even. I just haven't had the time to do it. And also now I've got bags and bags of new stuff. To perhaps go and put in. So maybe that's what I'm going to do over the next week is some housing stuff.
Okay.
How about yourself?
Yeah, so very, very little Warcraft over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, I have been in Toronto, which was absolutely lovely. I've eaten a lot of amazing vegan food. I met Manny, who was in the chat room in person.
Yay.
We had dinner and drinks in the city.
Oh yeah, hold on. Manny, when you say to somebody, let's nip round the corner for a drink, round the corner is not 45 minutes.
Yeah, I did have to
Just
walk.
saying,
We
mate.
did have to walk quite a long way to the bar. But I saw a lot of Toronto. Like, I saw some residential districts of
fair
Toronto that I wouldn't otherwise have seen. And we had to get a streetcar back, which is what they call trams. They call them streetcars. Which was hilarious. No, I enjoyed Toronto. I went to Niagara Falls, which I really enjoyed. I had a really good time at my work conference. That was like super good work stuff was had. Met a whole load of people that I'd only seen on the internet previously. So I've met a lot of people this week that I've only known on the internet previously, which is quite good. So that was all amazing. I was hoping that I'd catch up with some stuff on Tuesday before reset, and then I was dead. On Tuesday. The heat in London and in Buckinghamshire was just oppressive, and I haven't been in the game since. I dropped in on Tuesday afternoon for about an hour, and then I was like, oh no, I need to have another lie down, and I haven't been back in the game since then. I was hoping to do some other stuff, and then I just haven't got back in the game. But so you and I went for high tea yesterday with our third witch to Fortnum and Mason's, which is where we often do high tea. And that was really amazing. That was the only thing that I ate yesterday. Like, I didn't have any breakfast before we went. And then I had 2 rounds of sandwiches and 2 rounds of scones, and we took most of the cakes home, and then I had the cakes a little bit later yesterday evening. But those were literally, that was all the food I ate yesterday. I didn't have any room for anything else. It was amazing. Yeah, it was really good. So I've had a good time. The jet lag is absolutely kicking my ass. The jet lag and the heat, and I guess the perimenopause as well. It's just not great. I was off my various like supplements. I take some like joint supplements that I didn't take to Canada with me because I didn't want to take lots of like weird unmarked kind of
Oh, no, definitely not.
stuff with me, and I didn't want to take, they come in quite big packets, so I didn't want to take those either. So I've got a lot of joint pains. Like, I don't know if this glucosamine is working. Yes, the glucosamine actually maybe is working, and not having had it for a week is a thing. So I've learned some lessons, and it's possible the same conference next year is going to be in Mexico City. So maybe I get an exciting trip next year to somewhere even more different. That I've also, like, another country I've never been to. So maybe if work can spin it, then maybe I'll be going to Mexico City next year. So but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully not over my birthday, because it was my birthday whilst I was away, which was weird to have my birthday whilst I was at a conference. And my boss was wandering around every time I bumped it. Like, we weren't going to the same things, but she made a whole point of every time she was anywhere near me during the day telling the people that I was standing with that it was my birthday.
Oh, bless her.
Because obviously I just was like not mentioning it, because that's the sort of thing that I don't usually mention. So a couple of times she just literally like popped up over my shoulder and was like, "It's Ruth's birthday today." I was like, okay.
That's really sweet.
It's fine. It's quite funny. But no, it's fine. I ate a lot of good vegan food in Toronto. Toronto has a 2 thumbs up in terms of vegan food. There was a vegan Ethiopian restaurant that we went to on my actual birthday that was like lovely. I love Ethiopian food. So that was amazing. And then Manny and I went to a vegan sort of Chinese Thai restaurant that was also extremely good. And there were a couple of, I had some good food off some street stalls and things as well, which was, ate a lot of good food, had a really good time. Would like to feel like I had fully recovered from the jet lag now. Okay, thanks, bye. That's my verdict. I'm not very good. Jet lag coming eastwards, I'm not good at. Going west I'm better. You just sort of stay up for quite a long time, and then you can kind of reset it. Confusingly, at 5 o'clock in the morning in Canada, it's still dark at the moment. Whereas at 5 o'clock in the morning in the UK, sunrise at the moment is about 4 a.m. And I hadn't thought our latitudes were that different, and it must be. But yeah, 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like on the first day, and I was like, oh, well, it can't be that close to when I was thinking about getting up, because it's still dark, and it didn't get light until like nearly 6 a.m. And I was like, oh, that feels weird and wrong. But yeah, it was good.
Shows you how confusing a world map is then.
Yeah, it was really confusing. It was very confusing. There were lots of very confusing things. And yeah, the guy putting his seat back the whole time that I was against my knees the whole time that I was flying over was super annoying. The flight back was less annoying in that regard. But landing at Heathrow at 6 o'clock in the morning and it already being 20 degrees was not great. And having to text the poor person who was picking me up. So a friend of mine was like, I'll pick you up at Heathrow. And I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. You absolutely do not have to. And she was like, no, I'm going to pick you up at Heathrow. And I was like, amazing. And then it was like, where do I pick you up at Heathrow? And it's like, oh, well, that's a good question. It's like, you're not allowed to pick people up where you drop them off, and you've got to pay to do both things, and then it's like you need to come into a like big multi-story car park thing. It was like, oh my god, it was weird. Yes, Mobiz, jet lag is way too powerful, and jet lag and 35-degree heat do not mix. And perimenopausal women should not be required to exist in like 35-degree heat. It's just, we should be given freezers to go stand in. So yeah, no gaming for me, but I did have a nice time in Canada, so that's good.
Good.
Right, let's hear what Salmis has been up to this week.
Hello, Raven and DJ. This is Salmis, the alchemical rogue, reporting in from my week in WoW. Friends and family explored a ritual site and took a look at the Void Scar Arena dungeon on normal difficulty for the quest. Ritual healing made an omelette by defeating Belore the Burb and turned the lights out on Lura in the March on Keldanas. Now that I've seen most of the questing in Midnight, I'm thinking of holding off leveling alts until 12.0.7 is live. I hear that more activities than just questing will be more viable for faster leveling in that patch. In other gaming news, I picked up the 2024 version of Myst 2, Riven, on a Steam sale. Seeing that world live rendered is really fun for me. The only downside of that is that they had to scrap some of the video recordings of the actors used in the 1997 original. The rendered versions are just not quite as poignant in my opinion, especially the villain. Thank you all. Salm is out.
Oh, I love Riven. I love Riven so much. It's such a good game. Oh, now I want to play that. Anyway, Salvation got the third and final ahead of the curve for the season, as well as getting Resilient plus 12 Mythic plus unlocked, and finally leveled up dual crafting to give him all the professions at max level. He's also got the last few points needed for KSL, so he's pondering if to try for 3400 next. Symes, it sounds like you're done with World of Warcraft. I think you've done it all.
Symes is in fact beaten the game.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else you need to do.
Queen Smedry has started tanking Mythic Pluses on her BM Monk. She's committed the cardinal sin of pulling too much as she was following a map add-on called MDT, but it was the only time she's killed everybody. I think everyone's allowed to wipe a group once at least.
At least.
Healing is always reactive, but with tanking, she's controlling the flow, and even when people accidentally pull, she's all good. Is tanking the easier role? GGW, discuss. Note from me, yes. It's on my list of topics.
Yes, we will discuss.
I want us to
not
talk about.
Yes, tanking is automatically the easier role.
No. Yes, we can discuss this. Absolutely. It's actually something I'd already bookmarked as a topic to sort of find out what the state of the three roles is in the expansion, because every time a new expansion rolls around, some people are winners and losers in this. So no, hold those thoughts. We will absolutely talk about this in the next few weeks.
Yes, absolutely. Marie ran Dream Rift LFR to finish the Haranir questline and did some WoW tasks, and otherwise is spending time in Subnautica. Very good.
Has completed his Delver's journey and unlocked all 3 legendary dogs in Pocopia.
Legendary
that sounds like
dogs.
Very important work you've done there.
Yeah. Oh my god, there was a dog at the conference. The dog's name was Walnut. It was extremely soft and fluffy. I did check that it was as soft as it looked, and yeah, every time I just kept being in sessions that the dog was in.
Very pleasing.
And occasionally I'd see somebody's head and they'd be sitting on the floor, and I'd be like, that's weird, why is that person sitting on that? Oh, because they're sitting with the dog. Amazing. There should be more dogs at conferences, and since I was basically at an animal rights conference, we always have dogs at our conferences. It's amazing. Stilgar got Jaina's water elemental mount this week, managed to get all 8 mythic pluses at 10, and has been working on zone and instant transmogs. He's also managed to get 3 more people the Grey Riding Camel from Oldham. Amazing. Well, thank you very much, everyone. That is us done for the week. If you want to get in touch with us, the best place to find us is on Discord at bit.ly/ggw-discord. We'd also love it if you dropped us a follow over on Blue Sky or YouTube at GGW Show. Remember, if you've enjoyed the show, drop a like or a follow or a little review on the platform of your choice to help other people find us too.
Next week, 12.0.7 is on the horizon with no confirmed date as yet. Speculation is for mid or end of June, but let's get prepared. So what's coming next? And what do you think about the upcoming content and quality of life changes?
Thank you for listening this and every week. It's good to be back, and we will be back again in another 7 days. Although I think we then are taking another week off because EJ and I've got a thing in my diary that just says Cthulhu, and I was like, I've got a date with Cthulhu. We're going to watch some Call of Cthulhu in Southwark. I was just confused momentarily when I got back on Tuesday about the state of my diary. Like, why have I diarised Cthulhu? But yes, we'll be back next week. We'll be away the following week. And then we'll be back to a more normal cadence whilst we canter the final remaining stretch down to show 700. Because we're, nearly there. Nearly there.
Blimey.
Right, well, thank you very much, everyone. We will speak to you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.